be here. Pole beans. Hallelujah. So we've got really good germination right here. Decent germination. Decent here. That side did all right. Right here is coming up. Doing pretty good. They're just coming through on this one. Those really came in. Look at this row.
Yes, they look great.
Interesting thing, these did not come through as well. This one was the most heavily fertilized with that compost, and we only have 2, 3. Well, that one might not. Its roots are sticking out of the ground. Interesting. We'll cover it up, but I don't think it'll work. Anyway, so we might not have much on this trellis. We have those 2. We'll see how they do. There's a 3rd one in between trying to come in. Oh, Hobie. Come here, baby. Okay. No, she's standing on one. Come here. Oh. Be careful. These are Mommy's baby green beans, okay? Okay, don't step on them. Okay, good job. You're a good baby. Come here. Mommy's green beans. Show the camera. Green beans. These are green beans. Anyway, these are looking really good, and I'm excited that we're actually going to get pole beans out of these. So that makes me really happy. I'm glad that we decided to give it another try. Next year, or maybe even this year, if I can figure out another trellis. Here's looking at you, babe. I'm thinking about trying to get some rattlesnake beans, pole beans. Our friends over at Seeds for Generations have them, and I'm going to see them on Tuesday, so I might see if I can get a pack or 2. Anyway, back to the garden, because this is my baby, my tomato garden.
I'm going to do like a little panoramic view of it here.
It is getting so big. Our basils are really coming out. I keep having to trim. I need to come through and trim more. We have dried just a ton of basil so far. I mean, it's better fresh, but we're going to do a lot of sauce, so we're going to need a lot of basil. So we've been able to just come and pick and dry a bunch. What do you have a basil leaf? Yeah. Show Daddy. She loves.
Are you gonna eat it?
Yeah.
Eat it.
This is falling. I have some zip ties. I'm gonna come through and zip tie these in a little bit. Here's my Romas, and they're really tiny, but we have, this one is just about ripe. This one's just about ripe. We had one like that come off the other day. You eat it? So they're looking really good. They are really tiny. The Romas are. Our paprika pepper here, let me pull this grass out, is doing well. We put paprikas across here. Watch out, baby girl. Let me see. We got this one, and this one, and this one, and then the little tiny one down here is still coming. We have 2 tiny ones actually, and they're still doing, they're there, and they're still doing all right. But look at my favorite little spot is over here. This cluster of San Marzanos and Amish paste together. This is Amish paste, and this is San Marzanos. And they just keep growing and getting bigger. I keep thinking they're gonna start turning, and they just keep getting bigger. And look at these Amish paste. This one is huge. This one was stuck in the little edge of the branch. You see the branch started breaking, but I saved it. But these are pretty loaded, and will be turning soon. And then down here, this great white, this is the first time I've ever grown great whites, but it is enormous. I mean, you can see my hand, and it's huge. And there's one behind it that's probably about, I don't know, 1/3 smaller than that one, and it's big. Then we got these. This one had something kind of on it, so we'll have to see. I'm sure we'll have to cut out the bad parts, but still, it's huge. And these look good. This has a whole cluster of them. These are both great whites right here. But this is really, I always come every day and check this one to see. It looks like it's starting to turn whiter, so it, I don't know. It may be done getting big and just start ripening.
Look how big the other one is.
And then this plant, y'all tell me what you think. So I have all these peppers in, and I had, look how loaded this plant is. I had labels, it's covered up. And so I have a label down here at the 4th plant that says pepperoncinis. And my pepperoncinis are coming in. These started growing, and I was like, these are obviously not pepperoncinis. They kind of look like an Anaheim chili, but now I'm thinking they're serranos. This is my first time growing serranos, but I'm pretty sure these are serranos. It's hard to tell with peppers sometimes, but you guys Tell me what you think. Do you vote for Anaheim chili or Serrano's?
Yeah,
I
Mama.
need to know.
Yeah, Mama.
Oh, she picked me a beautiful flower. Thank you, baby.
Mama.
You picked it for Mama, Mama?
Yeah.
I put it in my hair.
Okay.
Okay. Did I get it in?
Yep, it's there.
Okay, thank you, baby.
Yeah, Mama.
All kinds of tomatoes growing in here. These were, the other day we came out, and these were so heavy they were snapping and breaking, and we put them back up on the fence, zip tied them up, and they healed back where they had split, so they're doing all right. The branches didn't die off. I was glad about that, so we'll see how they do. Like this pepperoncini plant, you can see these are definitely not the same as those first ones. They're looking really good, and our plan with pepperoncinis is to pickle them whole, like
Hey, Mom.
when we get a bunch.
These plants are almost taller than me.
They are taller than you.
They're way
a lot
taller than you, Lydia.
They're taller than me, baby. They might get taller than Daddy even. We'll see. I've got this plant, which is my Anaheim chili. Oops, that didn't come out by the roots. It's starting to set a couple, so we'll see. It's the one and only. That one's not a chili. It's the one and only Anaheim that actually came up, and I believe this is a jalapeno plant. I'm not 100% positive. My markers seem to be disappearing, but it seems like that was a jalapeno. And then these are my Cherokee purples, and let's come around this side because there's a better view. And they started splitting, which Cherokee purples do, but they've split and healed back, so I think they're gonna be all right. But look, I'm so happy. They'll be starting to turn soon. I've got a whole bunch over here. I need to get out here and prune again. It's like I come out and I haven't kept up with it. Well, I have, but I haven't. It's like I did them the other day, but they grow so fast and get out of control fast. I really need to come work on it. This little pepper we put in is doing okay. This one's doing, they're all doing all right, the ones that we put in the other day. This one is getting little buds, so it's really doing all right. And then my banana peppers, which I love pickled banana peppers. They might be my favorite. There, look. These 3 plants, they're not very big plants, but they're loaded, and I need to start picking them soon. They're about ready. Look at this one. And if we come through and pick them, then in theory that should give the plants a boost to get bigger and put more off. So that needs to happen soon. My solar flares, let me see. This one is a solar flare, and it actually looks decent. It's doing all right. Is this one? I'm trying to find my markers. Yes. This is not. This is the end of whatever those are. So I've got one here, and this plant is looking okay. This one looks okay. It's got the one, and it's got a little bud up here. This plant is healthy growth coming in on the top, but for some reason the whole plant looked like this. I don't know what happened. It just looked really sickly for a while, and I've kind of babied it, but hopefully it will do all right, because I was really excited about these. These were one of the tomatoes I was like most excited about. So at least I have one really healthy plant. I had a ton of them, and I ended up selling most of them, and ended up with only 3 for myself. And I didn't realize it till it was too late. So hopefully they do all right. But this little pepper plant here is looking pretty good. That's a little rotten dead stem. Pull that off. Don't know what it is unless it's a banana pepper too. There's not a marker, so in theory it should be. But I don't know. I don't know what happened to all my markers. This, I think this was a Serrano. Yeah, this is a Serrano too. I didn't realize. So these 2 are Serranos. So if these end up looking just like those, then I'll know those are Serranos. If they end up looking like the Anaheim chilies, then I'll know they're Anaheim chilies. So we'll see. This plant is so little, and it's loaded down. It's like the top of the plant disappeared. I don't know what happened to it, but it is putting off a lot of fruit. I don't know how long it'll live. It might just do this little bit of fruit and be done, because I don't know where the top of the plant is. It's gone. How weird. These all were my later going in. And they've taken off, especially these right here have really taken off. And then my ground cherries are really cool, but they're going out instead of up. I'm a little confused about that. But they're loaded, and we've had a couple come right, and they were absolutely delicious. So these are something that we are definitely going to be growing every year in the garden. I want to grow more of them because they're very, very yummy, and the kids all like them, and I like them. These peppers are doing well over here, getting huge. And look, my little sad poblano has finally decided that it wants to live. So it's getting there. It was my one and only. Now I've started more. So, oh no, here's the jalapeno pepper. I don't know what that pepper is over there. I need to do better about marking my plants.
We say this every year.
I say this every year. You guys, I am so unorganized, and every year I'm like, I'm going to be more organized this year.
Well, you are every year.
A little bit.
You just plant
Way more every year.
Way more,
and then I lose track. Here's a bell pepper. This is another bell pepper, and its leaves got huge. It's got a couple of fruit buds on here, or buds to set fruit, but I don't know. It like went crazy. All right, so our melons that we put in here are doing really well. These are the Minnesota. The chickens are in the perennial garden. They're not supposed to be in them. They're catching them and getting them out because they wreak havoc on my garden. Bad chickens.
Yes.
Hopi's like, give it to me.
Come here, Hopi.
Go with Jack. Oh,
Hopi.
Kylie, grab her. Ah,
You got to catch the baby and the chickens.
baby on the loose. Yeah, the baby or the chickens. Uh-oh. Anyway, back to the melons. I'm working on training them up the trellis because they're a little bit wild, but look, I found lots of little baby melons.
Oh, wow.
Really excited about it.
Get them all?
So,
Hold it steady.
Jemima, is there any more chickens?
Nope, I'm the chicken.
All right.
yep, lots of them in here. Trying to train them up the trellis is always a struggle with melons, but once they get it, they get it. It just takes them a little while to decide to cooperate. Let's see. We're trying to carefully do it. Over here, Emma had put in more zinnias, and then look at this borage. It's finally flowering. She was so excited. Borage though gets huge and takes over, so we kind of might be competing a little between the melons and the borage over here. We'll have to see. If worst comes to worst, we'll just pull the borage because we don't need that much borage. They're great for attracting pollinators, and they're great for attracting pollinators, but we don't need that much borage, and we need melons more than we need borage. So these two tomatoes here, there's three. We rooted from suckers. So I wasn't sure if they would make it, but they did. They're doing well. I have no idea what they are, but they're there. And then the kids' bed looks really good. This is Kylie's. Oops, marigolds. They got all their tomatoes. These are the green vernissage, and they're just really pretty tomatoes. Look at them. They're really cool, and they set off all these clusters. I believe they're semi-determinate. We've been pruning them because they just get really bushy, and we just don't have a lot of space, but they're really, really doing well. Lots of marigold plants throughout here, and then her nasturtium on the end. And her two atomic grapes are really doing well too. Really pretty. And they put in the last two pineapple tomatillos here and there, and they're doing pretty good. Obviously something likes their leaves. This is what they've looked like the whole time. Something comes in here and really eats on them, but they haven't killed them yet. Emma's bed is getting better. She just had so much in here. She had 3 marigolds, and the one that was here and here, they were like literally this big and up to here. She took them and planted them in front of the house. They were crowding out these cayenne peppers. So we have the 3 cayenne peppers, which are getting pretty loaded. Cayenne pepper is awesome. We like to dry it and crush it into powder, and it's really good for medicinal purposes, and it is also, of course, just good to, it's really hot, so you want to use just a little, but we use it in a lot of things like our ranch dressing and taco seasoning and things like that. But their garden's looking pretty good. Alright, so this is a big transformation over here. This was the peas and the bok choy and the collards, which were all just done. We were going to save seed from the bok choy, but then we decided we have a ton of bok choy seeds. I don't think like we really needed to, and they were just taking up space. So we came through and weeded this down. We're gonna probably come through with the stirrupo and clean it up because we have some more tomatoes. Those tomatoes up there that I have started need to go in. And I need to look at my timing, but we're going to be ready for starting more fall crops soon. And after some of the tomatoes are done, I want to put in peas on the trellis too, because we really like those peas and we only grew a handful. So that's something I want to do. We've been cutting broccoli. We've gotten a couple meals worth of broccoli. You can see something's eating them pretty good. And these ones are...
They're about to flower.
Yeah, they're about to flower. But we had some heads about this big. We've cut about 8 of them probably. We have cabbage growing. They're getting eaten on, but we'll see how they do. I don't know, there were several cabbage, but that one's like really eaten on. But the broccoli, we have this coming up. It's got, you know, but this bed is almost done. And then this volunteer, we believe it's a pumpkin. And it was setting fruit, and I gotta see if I can find the fruit.
Oh, here's one.
There's one that's rotting again.
Here's one right here.
This is, oh yeah, this is definitely a pumpkin.
Yep.
Definitely. Look at that.
That's
Cool.
pretty cool.
We'll, I'm gonna kind of direct it
Yeah,
out this
pull it
way
up
instead of
this
in that weedy mess. I don't know what it is. It looks like it might be some kind of pie pumpkin, but I don't know yet. We'll just have to see. Look at this one. This is a pineapple tomato, and it is huge too. I didn't realize how big it was till the other day. I was like, oh, this thing is huge. Look at that. Oh, there's a big old weed too.
Big old huge weed.
Yeah,
to go
lots
to
of weeds.
Big old huge tomato.
Yep, but it's huge. I'm excited about that one. I'm gonna search them through. Really coming in. Oh, my bell pepper. Look, I forgot about it. It's got 2 on it. Don't they look good? I'm excited. That's a horizon, so it'll turn orange. And we got more weeds, lots of weeds. And these are homestead tomatoes, and they're starting, they set off smaller cluster. They're not just a real big tomato. I think they're more of like a saladette size, but they're still gonna be yummy. And then the blue goldberries are starting, like these ones are really starting to turn a little bit. That's getting soft too, so it's almost ready to eat. I'm tempted to pull it off and eat it, but it's probably too bitter, tangy. But look. So excited about these. I cannot wait to try them. And then my atomic grapes, which you saw at Kylie's atomic grapes, but these ones are looking really good. They'll turn brighter colors and they'll get bigger, a little bit bigger, and they'll get soft when they're ready. So they're not ready yet, but they sure are pretty. Did we already see? Look, I have another Roma right here. It's pretty. It's split, but it's ready. So there's another basil. Anyway, I think everything overall looks pretty good. I mean, we've had a few struggles here and there, but we try to overcome and compensate and just keep on growing. And it's like we've got this little tomato, but I'm just ready for this huge abundant harvest to start coming in. Look, I missed this. I looked over and saw this little bit of red, and it is a black creme. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it. It's almost ready. I'm gonna take it in and let it ripen because it had so much splitting going on. I'm sure I'll have to cut the top out of it, but look, I went ahead and picked a handful of the Romas too. So I like to let my tomatoes vine ripen, but they've been, because of the water, has been the watering with the rain, lack of rain and then excessive rain, back and forth, they are starting to split a lot, because when you have inconsistent watering, especially with heirloom tomatoes, they will split. So tomatoes, once they start getting color, you can pick them and let them ripen on the counter. I like to vine ripen, but when I have issues with the splitting, I go ahead and pick them because it's not worth losing the whole tomato over trying to get them to vine ripen.